It is no accident that you are reading this. I am making black marks on white paper. These marks are my thoughts. And although I don't know who you are reading this now, in some way, the lines of our lives have intersected here on this white paper. We meet here. We touch for the length of these brief sentences. It is no accident that you are reading this. These words have been waiting for you. This moment has been waiting for you. Remember me. A failed attempt to photograph reality. How foolish of me to have believed that it would be that easy. I had confused the appearances of trees and automobiles and people with reality itself, and believed that a photograph of these transient appearances to be a photograph of it. It is a melancholy truth that I will never be able to photograph it, and can only fail. I am a reflection, photographing other reflections within a reflection. To photograph reality is to photograph nothing. The first time it happened, he decided that it hadn't happened. Yet he did remember the sunlight reflecting on the knife as he set the table. When he returned from the kitchen, it was gone. That Thursday, he glanced into a mirror at work and saw that his tie was missing. That morning, he had put on his favorite red tie. It was as if it had never been there. His snapshots went away next. He knew no one had taken them. He wanted to tell someone, but there was nothing to tell. He felt apprehensive. Nothing in his past could help him explain what he was now experiencing. In some way, these objects had defined his reality, and without them, he felt diminished. As he entered his apartment, he saw the chair behind his desk fly silently into the air and disintegrate. It became a sort of dust and was gone. He became sick. He was not surprised to find his closet empty. Everything familiar was becoming unfamiliar. He could not be sure of anything. The sheets on his bed began to vibrate and swirled into nothing. He had ceased to be frightened and was now filled with a heavy calm. He began to wait. There was a pipe on the table that he had never seen before. He did not smoke. For a long time, he just sat looking at it. More and more, the pipe felt familiar, as if it might have once belonged to him. Without looking, he knew that his hands were gone. Everything was silence around him. He was becoming silence. He was going too. I think the most important thing is to realize at this very moment I'm alive, and that's very difficult to deal with. I mean, to really know that I'm alive, to know that at this moment, it's always the same moment, but at this moment, there are a billion stars in our galaxy, there are a billion galaxies, 1,000,000 people are being born, 1,000,000 people are dying, but we don't see it at all. But if we could hear this whole thing, it would sound just like popcorn. Although he had to walk blocks out of his way, it had become a daily ritual with him to look in the shop window. He was strangely pleased to see that they were still there. Of course, it had occurred to him to buy the gloves. To own them would have ruined it. It would not be the same. He sat there much too long staring at his gloves. His eyes kept returning to the curious shape they had taken. One had become a queer, furry tunnel. He wondered where it might lead. How marvelous to let his hand enter the tunnel and see where it would take him, he thought. The glove ate his hand. She sat there reading her paper, wearing only one glove. He could almost touch it. The hand in her glove became his hand. The glove made his hand follow the contours of her face. He could not control his hand. The glove's will became his. The glove did what it wanted to do. She rose abruptly, leaving a glove. My guardian angel's name is Pete. He was born in 1898 and died in 1938. Pete had been a merchant seaman all his life, and he drowned in a terrible storm in the North Atlantic. During his lifetime, he never became what he might have been. He guides me and watches over me. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Row, merrily, 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 gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream.